Well, it's that time again where people bombard your phone, bombard your text messages, bombard your space, and repeat those same words that they told you last time. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. You're going to hear it like 1,000 times before before the end of January 1st. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And it's all just words. It is all just words. There's nothing new about it. It's not happy and it's not new. It's not happy because it's another year of being stuck in this shit hell world called Earth, where you have to do shit you don't want to do, where you have to face problems that you don't want to face, where you have to try to make shit work and put up with the difficulties of life to survive, and where you have to just do shit against your will, or rather, where it's expected that you'll do shit against your will to continue surviving. Because frankly, I'm at the point where I don't care. I'll just fucking give all this shit up. I'm at that point. Um, as the years progress, as the time progresses here, I get to a point within myself where I don't mind wanting to give up everything. Because to me, this is a stupid pursuit. It really is. I mean, this is a stupid shit show of a world, and everything is the same, more or less. All the years are pretty much the same shit. There are more problems, some different problems, but still you have more problems. And you're doing shit that you've been doing last year, and it just carries over into the next year. It's the same day, same stuff, different day. These are just words. These are words that humans put to a calendar and have made a social mantra out of. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy this, Merry this. It's a social thing. They do it. They're not even conscious why they're saying it most of the time. Some people will come up to you and just say Happy New Year like it's some kind of verbal tick that they have. They don't know you or anything. They'll just say, "Oh, Happy New Year." It's a verbal tick. They don't even know why they're saying it. They haven't thought it out. They haven't really thought it through. It's just some shit that they've been programmed to say around this time on a particular date because that's what they've always been trained to do. But there's nothing new. There's nothing happy about it. It's a repeat of the same stuff that has been going on for decades and that will continue to go on so long as you're here. Let me tell you something. I can only speak for myself and for those who I know for a fact are on the same level as me with this stuff. I can't celebrate being trapped in some shit that I hate. I can't do it. I can't celebrate being forced to continue to do shit I really don't want to do. I don't want to do this body thing. I don't want to do this being a human shit another year. I don't want to do it. It's like somebody saying, "Happy torture time. Happy torture time." No, it's not happy. It's not happy. You want it to stop. You want it to end. You want to get out. You want to leave. You know, that's the shit that would merit me saying Happy New Year. If I knew for a fact that at some point this year was going to be my exit, that I'm going to get the fuck out of here and never return, maybe then I would celebrate all the way up until that time happens. But beyond that, there is nothing here to celebrate. It's just more of the same stuff. You're still in a body that has to be taken care of, that has to be fed, that has to be washed, that has to be entertained, that has to be kept occupied. You're still in a prison, and the body is the prison. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all of this shit. I'm tired of this world. I'm tired of of the systems that control this world and that have such a hold on the world that things won't change, almost to a point where they can't change because it's just so fucking drilled and cemented in. But I'm just uninterested in it. I am utterly uninterested in all of this bullshit. Like, I couldn't care two shits about it being a new year. Who gives a fuck? I don't. You know, it's the same bullshit that it's been the last decade and the decade before that. It's garbage. Because so long as you are somewhere that you hate, there's no point in celebrating that. It's like trying to celebrate another year in a concentration camp. Why? what what sense does that make to celebrate being in the fucking concentration camp? And then of course then you get the people, oh well, you just make the best out of it. Yeah, well no shit, Sherlock. You don't have much of a choice really. Yeah, make the best out of it. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna be an idiot and celebrate it and pretend that it's something new and something extravagant, because it's not. It's more of the same bullshit that it's always been. Survival. Dealing with the human problem. And there really is a problem. You know, every year that you are in the body is a problem. And I guess that can only really apply to people who have that kind of a consciousness about them. You know, if you have this kind of awareness, this kind of consciousness where you are keenly aware of the human condition and what it entails in terms of making you a slave to your own body and having to deal with desires that you don't want but have, and having to feed and having to do all these different things just because you exist in a fucking body that you didn't ask for, there is nothing to be happy about with that, you know? And I have grown past the point of human sentimentality, because that's pretty much all it is when somebody says Happy New Year or Merry Christmas or whatever. It's human sentimentality. They're just saying that shit. It's just words that don't mean a fucking thing. They don't mean the hill of beans. What is I can't be happy here. So long as I'm here, I'm not going to be happy. And you know, when you say that to people, they automatically say, "Oh, well, you're just depressed." Is that supposed to somehow negate the facts of what I'm saying? Even if it were true that I am depressed, what does that, how does that negate anything of what I said? Because it's all been true. Now, frankly, I don't consider myself depressed. I think that I am someone who is aware of what this shit show is and where we are in this hell realm world that we have to participate in against our consent, against our will to do otherwise. I am keenly aware of the prison. It's always there. Even when you quote unquote enjoy yourself, you always have that awareness, like, I am still here in this. And of course, they always follow up that question with, what's your goal for the next year? Which I always thought was kind of silly, you know, like, life can throw you a curveball in a minute, and everything you plan for a week could be destroyed off of something that goes wrong in a few seconds. So there is a folly to planning for anything here. There really is. And I've learned that you really can't plan with life because life is so unpredictable. It's predictable in the ways that fucking suck, but for the most part, in terms of planning out your day to day, it's so unpredictable. Anything can happen. Okay? And there is really no point in trying to figure it out or plan for it. I have come to the point where I don't plan for anything in the future. You know, my days happen, they come and go. And I don't really plan for it because there's no point. Because what's going to happen tomorrow is what's going to happen tomorrow. And what's going to happen after that is going to happen after that. And frankly, the longer I'm here, the more I stop caring about shit. Even things that people tell me is important. Oh, well, you need to take care of your health. You need to take care of this. You need to take care of your finances. You need to take care of this. You need to take care of your retirement plans. Or it's all bullshit. I am pressing toward the place where I am considering letting it all go to shit, let it rot, and not fucking care, because there is no incentive to doing any of this. Think about it. You live on a world where you have to work to survive. You're living for a piece of fucking paper that affords you food and a place to live. And sometimes it doesn't even do that. No, not sometimes. A lot of times. Especially now, with how shit is with the economies and things like that. And these are all systems. These are all fucking made up bullshit systems. The monetary thing is a joke. That's just some shit that humans came up with to enslave each other. Monetary shit. A fucking piece of paper dictates if you are afforded the right to live comfortably or not. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's a joke. It's a bad joke. And people spend their whole lives in slavery chasing these pieces of paper and never having enough of it. Because when you think you've got enough, they raise the bar a little more and you still don't have enough. Most people in the United States right now, they barely can afford a mediocre life, let alone a good one. And that's just not happening in America. It's happening all over the world. But what I'm saying is, like, there is no incentive to this shit. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So you might as well not. It's what I'm getting. It's the point I'm getting to. Because what good is it to be a slave just for the fucking sake of being a slave? And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not happy about any of this shit. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. It's a bunch of fucking words. Because there's nothing to be happy about and celebrate. So long as you are in a predicament like this. The only thing I care about is getting out of here and staying out. That's it. And hopefully finding a way to get rid of this fucking place altogether. So that nobody else has to be born and forced to do this shit. It's a cosmic concentration camp. That's what Earth is. It's a fucking zoo, concentration camp, asylum, whatever you want to call it. But it's not something that's deserving of being praised or being celebrated. And I'm tired of myself. And I don't mean that in terms of me necessarily, the inward, the true essence of who I am. I'm talking about this fucking avatar, this body, this identity called Marcus, right? This body that has to eat shit, be entertained, find ways to cope, and develop addictions and develop all sorts of crazy things and have to deal with that shit because you're here. And it's all a symptom of you being here. You wouldn't even have to have this shit if you just weren't here. You know, that's the crazy part. Like, all of this shit is only relevant because we are in it. It's only relevant because we are in this fake facade, shit show, simulation, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's a bunch of bullshit. And it's not free. It's not free. There's no freedom. There isn't any. And I'm not talking about freedom to get on a plane and go. That's mundane shit. I'm not talking about mundane ideas of freedom, like, oh, I get to travel. I'm not talking about that. I don't give a shit about travel. You could ask me where I want to go around the world. I couldn't care less. I don't want to see the world. I don't want to go places and do new things. I'm just not fucking interested. I don't care. I don't like the world enough to be a person who wants to travel. There's nothing to see here as far as I'm concerned. I've experienced what there is to experience, and that's it. Because another thing about this whole New Year thing, I mean, it's just a repeat of everything that you've already done. you're still gonna work, you're still gonna eat, you're still gonna sleep, you're still gonna entertain yourself, distract yourself doing shit that you don't want to do but you have to do, or that you should do according to society. You really don't have to do a damn thing. That's something that I really have to get out of my vocabulary. This whole thing of you have to do. No, we really don't fucking have to do a goddamn thing. We could all stop working. We could all stop doing everything. Now, is that going to be a comfortable option? No, it's not going to be comfortable, granted. But you're not comfortable doing it either way it goes. So, which, it's kind of like the whole thing of tomato, tomato. Which one do you want to be? You want to be comfortable? You want to not be comfortable being a slave? Or do you want to not be comfortable, but at the same time, at least be a little bit more free than what you were? It's that type of thing, But it's just the drudgery of doing this human experience. I hate it so much. I really do. And my only thing about being here is trying to understand how to get out of it. Because I'm not interested. I'm not interested in the human program. I don't care about mankind's future. I don't care about helping humanity. I don't care about making the world a better place. I want to get the fuck out. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. I don't care about the bullshit New Year that they have planned. I don't care about their fucking stupid goddamn elections, their politicians. I don't care about any of this stuff. I just want to leave. To go away and stay away, far, far, very far away from this, okay? Because I hate it. Even the shit that quote unquote feels good, I hate that too, because it's a trap. It's not even real. Pleasure is not even fucking real. Pleasure is like the anesthesia that they give you during the surgery. It's there to numb you. That's all it is. And every pleasure is predicated upon the pain. You only care about pleasure because you're trying to satisfy a pain or satisfy a suffering. Boredom, for example. You're only doing things that you find fun because you don't want to be bored. It's always predicated on a suffering, on a negative, on trying to avoid the natural state of life in this world, which is pain, suffering, and hunger. That's really all this shit is, repeating: pain, suffering, hunger, and ways to satisfy that. That's all that humans are ever doing at any time. I don't care if it's this year or next year or the next January 1st that comes around. It's the same repeating mundane stupidity of being on the wheel that you don't want to be on. And my whole thing is getting off the fucking wheel and breaking the wheel. I don't want to be on it. I don't want to be near it. I want to ruin it. I want to destroy it. I don't care about making myself comfortable here. Every day that goes by, I'm losing more interest in being comfortable here, because comfortable dictates being more enslaved. Because the more you care about comfort, the more you will exert yourself to be degraded, to do the things that you need to afford that comfort. For example, people working 80 hours and bragging about it like it's some flex. Oh, I worked 80 hours this week. I'm making more money because I got to afford it. It's such a fucking stupid thing. And that's another thing about humanity, is this slave mentality that it has. This slavish praise of their predicament. They're happy about being work mules who have to pay bills and who have to work for paper to afford to live, and they take that as a badge of honor that they work hard every day and that they're saving up for their retirement. It's such a stupid bullshit. I mean, the more I think about this place, the more I don't understand how I ended up here. I really don't get it. You know, if you were to follow me around with a camera in my personal life, you would probably hear me go, "What the fuck?" At least 3 or 4 times a day, probably more, depending on what kind of day I'm having. Because I just think about what I'm doing here, and it's so absurd. It's not achieving anything. I'm just doing these human fucking motions, dealing with this fucking meat suit of a body that I can't really control. I can't control that this identity as Marcus is what it is, because there's biology that's playing a part, there is physiology playing a part, there is genetics, which goes back to biology, but it's all programs running. This is a like a ignorant is bliss. He always says this is a program AI. This is a programmed robot, if you will, this body, this avatar that we have, and it's running off of a script. You know, this is not even really us. This is just some shit that we are in. And you really have to feel it and understand it to know what he's saying when he says that. Because I swear it feels like I'm inside of a fucking cage. And I don't know how to explain that to other people. You know, people think I'm crazy when I say that. I don't give a shit, though. They can think whatever they want to think. I don't care. But it feels like that. You can feel the heaviness. You can feel the sensation of wanting to rip the fuck out of your body. Like you just want to tear it off. You know, I'm an artist. So I like to draw a lot of these intense emotions. And I did one a few days ago where I drew a picture of me as a spirit bursting out of this body, and it had like a bloody kind of explosion where I'm just blowing off the body off of me, because that's how I feel about this. I want to get out. I want to be done. I don't care about humanity. I don't care about the earth. I don't care about having a good life, a comfortable life. I just want to get the fuck out of here. And every year that I'm here against my will, participating in this bullshit, is not a happy new year. It's more of the same shit. You know? So until that changes, as far as I'm concerned, these are just words. They don't mean a goddamn thing.